the word I was looking for. Thank you, headroom. And yeah, I moved anybody that has an old tube radio with the delta tune, with the plus or the minus or whatever. If they tune up to the high side, they'll notice that the audio will change a little bit, sound a little bit better because it's a little high on frequency. But you know, we don't worry too much about that as long as it's glowing in the dark, as long as it's anywhere near channel 11 that Net Control can hear it. And you're taking the time to check it in. It's on our list, number 12, the General Radio Telephone MC5. It sounds marvelous. And the Tweety Bird, that's right, the MC5, noted for its ability to do the tone call. And there were many, and I'm not accusing you, Jerry, don't get me wrong here, but many in the day. I can remember back in the day hearing that tone. That was the fave of the favorite of some of the radio jammers. They'd love the key down on that one. All right, sounding good. General Radio Telephone on your old tube radio network. We're standing by. All right, I think we had two stations. We had 56. Who was the other station? 56 and 50. All right, this time let's head over to 56 for Radio 13, and then we'll be over to 50 after that. Phil, tell us what you've got.
Well, thank you, Dennis. This is a Tram Titan 2 double sideband AM radio.
All right, I'm writing it down here. Tram Titan 2 DSB/AM. Earlier in the program tonight, radio number 8, the Witch Doctor on the Tram Titan, sounding very good. And here is the next advancement to that, Tram Titan 2, where they went into, put in the product detector, put in the sideband mode, in this case the double sideband, meaning you probably have a control that says LSB, USB, but when you go to either of those, you're transmitting the upper and lower at the same time, but only listening to the one you select on the dial. Regency also made a double sideband radio. There may have been a few others, but 1966, 1967, when sideband began to be the thing on 11-meter radio, double sideband was a way to go. Give us another transmission on Radio 13, Phil. Sounding good. Tell us the microphone.
Thank you. This is a desk mic. It's an OEM in the Turner styling.
Okay, nice and clear. Good fidelity on the audio. Have you ever tried to kick that thing in the sideband and talk to anybody?
Actually, I have not.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't do I guess there hasn't been a Friday night sideband OTR net for quite some time, and if I remember correctly, on a 23-channel radio like that, back in the day, I always say that back in the day, Channel 16 would have been where you were going. Channel 16 was sort of the sideband channel, if I remember, at least down where I used to radio down in LA, but I'm pretty sure that was it, and the reason they liked 16 was because you have that RC channel between, I think, 15 and 16, so it allowed you to move around a little bit if you were so inclined. Tram Titan 2 sounding good. Give us another transmission, Phil. Thanks for bringing by the tram tonight, glowing in the dark. Double sideband. There's some fans of the double sideband. I am one of them because I have one of the double sideband radios, but we want to hear it again before we move on. Radio 13, back to you.
Well, thanks again, Dennis, and move on we shall.
All right. Really nice, crystal clear audio on that, by the way. You got to expect it from the trams. Radio 14, we're moving over to 50. Monkey's uncle has something for our tube pleasure. Go ahead, sir.
And before I do, it's another tram.
All right. Oops. Yeah, we're transmitting. The trams are trying to let the Brownings know that there's another kid on the block. Tell us what you got.
Say D201.
All right, the tram D201. Let's move up a few years from the Titan 2, and go to the D201. Sideband is still the thing. I think we're still 23 channels let's see, the 201, no, I'm sorry, the 201 did not have sideband, is that correct?
No, I did have sideband, but we did move up into furniture status.
Okay, all right, yeah, we're still at 23. See, I pay attention sometimes. Sometimes I pay attention. We're still in 23 channels, but the tram has gone from a radio that looked very much at home in an equipment rack in a television station with the big rack handles and the big meters and stuff to something that looked every much as home in the living room now because of the wood case and the way they placed the knobs to look more like stereo gear, right?
Yeah, it did.
All right, well, see, the engineers on these radios, I guess, must have had focus groups, and they found out when CB started being more than something that was in your taxi cab or, on the workbench in the shop, and it was a hobby thing. It was, what you did in the evening. You might have watched your favorite show. You turned on Green Acres and Petticoat Junction, and after that you retired over to the other side of the living room and turned on the radio and chatted with your friends on whatever channel it might be. Thanks for Radio 14 there, Mark. We want to have you give us another transmission on the Tram D201. Back to you.
10-4, thanks a bunch. Yeah, I'm starting to lose modulation here. I don't know what's going on, but thanks anyway.
All right, it's there. I've heard it louder, but it's still punching through pretty good for Radio 14, the old Tube Radio Network we're listening.
Hello. Is this thing working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, I'll check it in then. SWO 135, checking in the Air Castle JE 321.
I think that's a show on ABC. Air Castle JE 321. Did I remember correctly in the last 10 seconds?
Sounds right to me. Air Castle JE Juliet Echo 321. Contact, blast offer. Yeah, there's no B or C, never mind. Made by ECI in 1967, I think. And it says CB code ECI-67. I'm guessing that's what that means. This has a range expand. I don't know if it's really different from range boost. It is on. This is the original gray plastic ECI microphone, and I'm on green channel 11. This particular channel, as well as a few others, are in some sort of green plastic, so it gives the black background so the light shines through it. Creepy green double ones coming in.
There is green 11 tonight. Sounding good. I was going to make a comment, and I think you've answered my question. You mentioned the ECI, and I was going to say that has the similar quality in tone, which is a very heavy and loud bass presence without being muddy, but very punchy, as did the earlier Courier 23. And I was going to ask you if it had any sort of a range boost, which the other one didn't. It did. So you're probably thinking the same thing, and maybe if you have both radios there, you can look at. Are there any, I guess, from an operator's point of view, physical similarities between the Air Castle and the Courier 23?
Yes, indeed. They're practically identical. The case is certainly identical, except this one is painted a wrinkled finish brown to match the two-tone brown and chrome on the front, whereas the Courier 23, of course, is all chrome and then chrome and black in the front. Knobs are identical. Mic is identical. Meter is identical. I say instead of range boost, the switch is in exactly the same spot as the range boost, except it says range expand in brown letters as opposed to range boost in black on the other one. It's very much the same radio, but boy, I gotta get something to drink. if you want exact cosmetic kind of specs, this looks just like the Courier 23 Plus, which is, again, a practically identical radio. Made by the same company, looks very much the same, but it's different color.
All right, well, you know, and to mix it up a little bit, perhaps, you know, ECI, produced by ECI for another venue. We know E.F. Johnson did it for Sears. There was a Sears radio that looked every bit like a Messenger 223 with a few changes here and there and a couple of logo-esque issues, and I don't know if they changed the color, but perhaps in the world of Aircastle, a similar thing. Trying to keep up with whatever, or trying to have a CB-type radio in their arsenal for some store, perhaps. I don't know. Sounding good. You've got to listen to the Old Tube Radio Network to find these little tidbits out from Aircastle. What was it Ward's? I'll have to look. I've been a Montgomery Ward's console radio, and I thought it was Air something. I don't know if it was Aircastle, but I thought it had the name Air in it. So maybe this is something